Guys, we are back in business. Welcome back to the channel. Obviously, if you are a long-time viewer, you already know who I am, you already know what I do, but it has been over 2 months since I last posted my video, so if you are new to this channel and this is the first time you are meeting me, welcome to the channel. My name is Haydxn, and today we got some really good stuff to talk about. As most, if not all of you already know, I am a tremendously big Terrifier fan. You can see my Art Crispies box, you see my Art the Clown animatronic, I got my Ice9 Kill shirt on, I have Art the Clown tattooed on me, I love Terrifier, I love the franchise, I love Art the Clown. These movies mean so much to me. I was not able to get this video out when Terrifier 3 released. Number one, I did go and see it in the movie theater on release day. I had a really good time, but I was so sick. I had a very bad illness thing going on, so I wasn't able to make this video. I wasn't able to make any video past this video. This is my first video in 2 months, like I just said. But I'm gonna let you guys in on just a little secret. I have never been more motivated in my life to make this content creation thing work than I am now. I had a lot of stuff happen behind the scenes that put things in a different perspective, and I'm just so motivated and driven to just keep on pumping out this content. A lot of that motivation stems from a lot of your guys' support over the past few months, so thank you so much to anyone who asked me where I was, asked me how I was doing, wanted to see more videos. This is for you guys, and we are back in business. And what better way to be back in business than to introduce you guys to my official Terrifier 3 movie review. So without further ado, go ahead and grab yourself a snack and a drink, sit tight, and let's talk about this movie. So you could tell by the title, I do think that Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie. I know that this is a very big debate going on amongst not only the fan base, but people who absolutely hate the fan base in the franchise as well. I'd say Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie, number one, because it primarily takes place during Christmas, and number two, because there are so many undertones of Christmas throughout the entire thing. I mean, just take a look how we have Art the Clown dressed as Santa Claus for literally majority of this movie. You cannot tell me this is not a Christmas movie, so I will not take your opinion if you think otherwise. But Terrifier 3 was arguably the greatest Terrifier movie that we have gotten thus far. We honestly all knew that this was going to happen. We knew from the budgeting, the marketing, the hype that this movie had behind it after the unwild success of Terrifier 2. We knew that Terrifier 3 was going to have us in for a treat, and it did exactly that. It did everything perfectly. This movie pushed so many boundaries that a lot of people had no idea that they were going to push. There were a lot of things that happened that I had no clue about whatsoever. And then just when you think that our boy Art the Clown cannot get any more mean, he gets a lot more mean. The main big thing of this movie was the controversial opening scene that had several people walking out of theaters, passing out, throwing up, whatever the case was. And I can go ahead and tell you, was this scene pushing the boundary for Terrifier fans who have just learned who Art the Clown was in recent years? Sure, but was this pushing the boundaries for us that already knew what Art was capable since back in the All Hallows Eve days? This is a slice of cake. If you haven't seen it, which I'm sure you have by now, Terrifier 3 is streaming digitally and it's about to drop on Blu-ray and DVD next week. Art the Clown essentially unalives a kid. You don't actually see the whole act of it taking place, but you see the post, aftermath after the kid's mom discovers what had happened. And while yeah, that can be a little bit disturbing for some viewers, a lot of us who have been watching Terrifier and Terrifier 2 and All Hallows Eve, we already knew that stuff like this was totally possible and not off the table for Art the Clown. But what I like about this scene is that it showed people who didn't think that Art the Clown would go that far, that he will go that far. And it also puts into perspective, if Art the Clown is willing to do this to some innocent child just trying to sleep on Christmas Eve, then he will do whatever he has to whoever he has to, and we will learn a little bit more about that later on. But like I said, the opening controversial scene, Art the Clown did end up unaliving a child, which we all knew was coming. We could all tell that it was going to happen, but just actually seeing it happen for the first time for a lot of people, it was a little crazy. There's another scene that I want to talk about without going too far into detail. It's when Art the Clown and Vicky are in the attic of this old rundown house that they go to, and you know, Vicky gets a piece of glass and she kind of goes at it. I do not want to further elaborate. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what that was supposed to mean. I'm not sure if it has some kind of underlying theme or meaning that we're supposed to be digging deeper into. No pun intended, but that was pretty gross, and there's a lot of other really gross things that happen in this movie as well, but like I said, I love the Terrifier franchise, so obviously I'm gonna watch it regardless. Art the Clown is the absolute meanest he has ever been in this movie. Like I said, number one, he already unalived a kid. Number two, he unalived Santa Claus. I mean, Santa Claus. It's not actually Santa Claus, but that scene in the bar is intense, and it is insane as well. We get to see Art the Clown use a gun again, which, if you don't know by now, now is one of my favorite things of the Terrifier movies. I love that Art the Clown can drive, and I love that he can use a gun. That's not something that you see a lot of slashers do. So seeing Art the Clown do it after how funny and wild and stupid he is, it's awesome. But back to the Santa Claus thing. He kills this guy that he thinks is Santa Claus, and at first he's so excited. He finally gets to see Santa Claus. It's like a kid on Christmas literally seeing Santa for the first time. But after Santa buys Art the Clown a shot and then he spits it back into Santa Claus's face and then proceeds to pee on his leg, they get a little mad, they get into a scuffle, and this is when all hell breaks loose inside of this bar. It's just funny seeing Art the Clown accidentally get himself into an unnecessary situation, and then he still somehow makes the best for it for himself. And the way that he proceeds to kill Santa Claus is so creative. It's in a way that I would not have seen it going at all. He has this little machine that he rigged up where he can freeze people. He can freeze their hand, their feet, and then he can kind of just get a hammer and do whatever he has to do. This is also where he gets his beard. He rips the guy's beard off so he can complete his Santa Claus costume, because the guy told him a little bit earlier on, no Santa is complete without a beard. And then obviously we have to get into the chainsaw shower scene, the infamous shower scene. We all knew that this was going to be hype. We all knew this was going to be crazy, but I did not think it was going to be as crazy and grotesque as it actually was sitting there watching it. We have Mia and Cole, who are the two lovers in the shower that we seen in the trailer, and Art the Clown obviously smashes through with a chainsaw, and then he gets business done. Some would say that Mia deserved this, partly because she said she wants to know what it's like to be in the presence of Art the Clown. She wants to feel him stare at her. She wants to know what he smells like, and he made that happen exactly in that manner. So Mia, next time be careful what you wish for. Well, there is no next time, but you get what I'm saying. I don't feel like Cole deserved this fate, but I guess it's what you get for trying to get into it with Mia in the shower. You should have known better. You should have been there for Jonathan. You should have been at that party anyways. So shame on both of you. You got what you were getting. Apart from all of this crazy, silly, and wild stuff, we do continue to see the story between Art the Clown and Sienna and her family. As we all know, Sienna is our final girl in the Terrifier films, a damn good final girl in my opinion, and she has her best performance ever in Terrifier 3. She definitely shows that she can 100% contend for one of the greatest final girls of all time, definitely the greatest modern final girl in movies, and it's through stuff like fight scenes, chase scenes, even just minor dialogue. She definitely proves that she belongs on the top of the top. Sienna had an all-time performance in this movie, which is something that critics were saying as soon as the movie was about to release. The fight scenes between Sienna and Art, and also Vicky, who was added into the mix throughout certain points, they were insane and they were incredible. So props to Lauren Lavera for bringing this Sienna character to life, number one, but also continuing to make us so emotionally invested to where we want to see where this story continues to go. She's such a good final girl, and I cannot wait to see what direction they go with her in Terrifier 4 when that eventually releases. Like I touched on just a second ago, something that we got new in this movie was the very big prominence of Vicky. Vicky ended up being a prominent villain in this movie alongside Art the Clown. This is something that a lot of people liked, but this is something that some people were upset about because they wanted to see some more of the little pale girl from Terrifier 2. The little girl was not in this movie, which is something that left a lot of fans wondering why, but we're going to get into that in another video, so don't worry. I, for one, enjoyed the prominence of Vicky in this movie, and something that I really enjoyed was her little makeover to look like Art the Clown. She made herself a black and white dress, she had the black and white face paint. Vicky looked absolutely incredible throughout the ending scenes. And that's something that I'm glad we got. So although I'm a little bit sad that we didn't get some more story on the little pale girl, the fact that we got Vicky in this manner and the look of Vicky in this manner, chef's kiss. I liked the tandem between Art and Vicky in this movie. Throughout certain points, it looked like Vicky was like the annoying little sister to Art. He was getting annoyed with her. He didn't understand what she was doing at points. But I really liked the dynamic. I liked that they were working together throughout most of this. And it made it just a little bit more entertaining. So instead of just seeing Art the Clown be the only force to try and drive these kills or whatever, whenever he was down, Vicky was here. Whenever Vicky was down, Art was here. It was a very interesting dynamic, and I appreciated it so much. It was also just refreshing to see Vicky more in a role other than like just sitting in a mental hospital. So the fact that she was out and about, it added a lot more intensity and a lot more drama and entertainment, and I for one can appreciate that 100%. The big thing that we ended up seeing in this movie was the quote-unquote death of Jonathan, which number one was an off-screen death. It's something that we didn't actually see happen. But number two, it's something that I really don't think happened anyways, because there's no way you take one of your main characters and and you kill them off screen after everything they went through in Terrifier 2. There's just no way. But that was the big thing that sent Sienna over the edge. After this, she knew she had to make something happen because the last remaining family member for her at this point was her little niece, who ended up falling into a pit in the middle of the floor, falling to the depths of hell before the floor could close and Sienna could no longer get to her. So wherever that goes, we'll have to see in Terrifier 4 as well, because while she's sitting on the floor, Sienna vowed that she would find her niece, she vowed that she would save her, and she would see her again. At the end of the movie, we see Art the Clown in his undoubtedly most human state. We've actually never seen him look or act more human, and it looks like with the death of Vicky, who was his demon vessel, I assume, it looks like Art the Clown might actually not be possessed by this demon anymore, and instead he is just Art the Clown now, and when he dies, he will be dying for the final time. So without his demonic possession, he's probably not going to have any more superpowers. He probably isn't going to be able to resurrect or heal himself anymore. So the next time we see him and Sienna fight, if Sienna is actually able to pull this off, that is probably the end of Art the Clown as we know it. Which is the most likely scenario, considering Damien Leone said that Terrifier 4 is probably the last showing for Terrifier and Art the Clown. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome, and he already knows how he wants to wrap this story up. So that's just something that we're gonna have to wait and find out as well when 4 eventually releases. But overall thoughts on Terrifier 3. What did I think about this movie? I think that this movie was absolutely incredible. I think that it absolutely crushed it on all fronts. I loved the brutality, the wildness, the humor. It was so hilarious throughout certain points. This is the funniest Art the Clown that we have gotten so far compared to the meanest Art the Clown that we have gotten so far. There was so much going on. It was wild and it was so entertaining. Terrifier 3, Chef's Kiss, was the best movie in the franchise so far and an awesome ending to the Terrifier trilogy. But like I said at the beginning, we are back in full force, baby. So if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And you know what you're also going to want to do? You're also going to want to click that notification bell, because as soon as these videos drop, you want to be one of the first ones to hear what I have to say, because I'm so important and I know everything. This is true. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about Terrifier 3. Like I just said a second ago, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that thumbs up button. You never know what's going to be next. Probably more Terrifier videos if I have to be honest. But it is so good to be back, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Peace.